वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके निर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। नमो विश्वपदाय कृष्णस्तुते श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामी समर्थ रास बिहारी नमो विश्वपदाय कृष्णस्तुते वेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुर्जीवकारुण्यं। Hare Krishna. So, we are now. Sorry? Yeah. Chapter 5, text 3. So the title of this chapter is Karma Yoga. So let's look at chapter 3. We'll run to chapter 3 so that we understand what is Karma Yoga and what is Karma Yoga again, chapter 5. And it is action in Krishna consciousness. We'll just run through it. So remember, to compare the two, so it's the beginning. So remember chapter 2, Krishna gives summary of what he wants Arjuna to do, right? And then Arjuna said, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, right? And here, chapter 5, Arjuna asks, "Oh Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work, right? And then again you recommend work and devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" So here the question was, you want me to do this ghastly warfare, but you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work. So Krishna says, text 4, chapter 3, text 4. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Alright? And then I'm not going to do anything I just said. Right? So what should we do? So everybody is forced to work, to do something. But this work should be done for Vishnu. Right? So this is this whole section. Text 18 is self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duty, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living entity. So it's just your work, you do your work. Right? Text 31 again. Text 30. The Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay. There's karma, vikarma, and akarma. Okay. So just do your duty according to your own nature. Right? So this is text chapter third chapter. And then Arjuna said that this work, it has reaction. While we work, we perform simple activities. Willingly or unwillingly, we perform simple activities. So Krishna spoke the whole chapter 4. He gave the knowledge. Right? So we are working with results, right? So now we use our body, our intelligence as sacrifice for Vishnu, right? Remember text 11, I think. Krishna says all work should be done as sacrifice to Vishnu. The chapter 11, chapter 4 describe all the different levels of sacrifice. Now Krishna is speaking chapter 5. And so Arjuna said, first of all, you have asked me to renounce work, and then again, you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? So, Krishna replied, personality of God, Chi Bhagavan Uvacha. This Krishna is Bhagavan, okay? The personality of Godhead replied. The renunciation of God and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotion service is better than renunciation of work. Text 3, we are in text 3 now. Yeya sanitya sannyasi Yona dveshti na kamshati Yedvanyogi mahabaho Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty Arjuna. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. So let's read it. One who is fully in Krishna consciousness is always a denouncer because he feels neither hatred nor desire for the results of his actions. Such a renouncer dedicated to the transcendental loving service of the Lord is fully qualified in knowledge because he knows his constitutional position in his relationship with Krishna. He knows fully well that Krishna is the whole and he is the part and parcel of Krishna. Such knowledge is perfect because it is qualitatively and quantitatively correct. What's that? What is that qualitatively?
Qualitatively means we are like Krishna in quality, but quantity like we are very small and Krishna is big.
And the concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect because the part cannot be equal to the whole. Alright? Knowledge that one is one in quality yet different in quantity is correct transcendental knowledge, leading one to become full in himself, having nothing to aspire to or lament over. There is no duality in his mind because whatever he does for Krishna. Being thus free from the platform of dualities, he is liberated even in this material world. Right? There is no duality in his mind because whatever he does, he's doing for Krishna. Right? So he's not hesitating. So he who neither hates nor desires, oh, why should I do? Oh, why should I do? But people, they are always struggling to work, right? They're hating it that they have to go to work, they have to do this, and they're criticizing their boss all the time, right? Isn't it? Throughout. So they hate. They hate having to work. Who neither hates no desires, only just working for that salary. Working for that salary. No hate, no desires, the fruits of his activities. So, one who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always relaxed. Text 4. Sankhya yogo pitam dharma Bhavanti na panditaha Ekamapyasthita samyak Ubhayor vindate phalam
Sankhya, analytical study of the material world. Yoga, work in devotional service. Prithak, different. Bala, the less intelligent. Pravadanti, say, na, never. Pandita, the learned. Ekam, in one. Api, even. Asthita, being situated. Samyak, complete. Ubhyo, of both. Vindate, enjoys. Phalam, the result. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, Karma Yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Purport: the aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Vishnu or the Supersoul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the Supersoul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other is to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then, in perfect knowledge, engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purposes of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same. But one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these different processes.
Okay, so we see how Srila Prabhupada's philosophy is unifying the processes. Right? Okay. And one is founding.
माता जी क्या आवाज आ रहा है ऐसा टंग टंग
उसमें यूज करेगा पिक द ब्लू वन
मतलब
ब्लू वाला IPP वाला यूज
Sankhya philosophy.
Sankhya. This is Sankhya. And the other one is offering. Offering. Which philosophy is that?
Yes. Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. Or
Karma Yoga.
so we are equating Karma Yoga and wisdom. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Put the volume little. What is this? Krishna question.
You need to make the volume little better, I think.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Alright, so we go there. So one is to find the root. This is yeah, by analysis, right?
Yes.
We want to find the root of existence. And who's the root of existence?
Vishnu.
Vishnu. Alright? And once you find the root of existence, you just watch him. What should you do? Engage in this service. Only pranam. This is good. It's very good to only do pranam. Right? Bhakti yoga means pranam, right? And that's all. Pranam. To water pranam.
We have to water the root also.
Water the root. So the real student of Sankhya philosophy found the root of the human issue. And then now that we know we have perfect knowledge based on Sankhya, what she will do? Engage himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two because the aim of both is Vishnu. Alright? This is how we unify the two processes. So, we can't say that one is required, the other one is not required. Right now, we're sitting and discussing. We want to understand the root cause of everything, right? Who should I worship? Right? We want knowledge. That's why we're sitting here. We don't know. Right? So we are listening, dissecting, asking millions of questions. Right?
Mataji, exactly the Sankhya Yoga is stated by Lord Kapil Dev, who is avatar of Bhagwan. So exactly what is
Yeah.
Sankhya?
Yeah. Sankhya means analytical study of the material world. You know, the 24 elements, and then finding the soul, the super soul. Right?
So what is the difference? Like what is this what we call this Brahman, Mayavad? What is the difference between Sankhya Yoga and like?
So, Mayavad philosophy, so we read in the previous talk. So, Prabhupada is saying, so the Mayavadis or the Brahmavadis,
Impersonalist. Impersonalist.
impersonalists. So, they are saying that the Jiva will merge in Brahman and become one in Brahman. Therefore, the Jiva and Brahman is equal.
Okay. And Sankhya philosophy does not say this.
Sankhya is only analyzing the material world. Okay? Now, this atheistic Sankhya, which is nothing referred to here, and then Bhagavad Gita is not much elaboration on this. Very Krishna. There's not much elaboration on Sankhya. Alright, you find it more in Bhagavatam, teachings of Kapila. Right? So then there is a whole philosophy of Sankhya that was
Lord Kapil Dev.
that's seduction, right? That's distorted Sankhya. There is a distorted Sankhya.
Atheist Sankhya.
Atheist Sankhya. Okay. This is basic says,
He is also Kapil.
no, this atheist Kapila.
Yeah.
Name was.
He got the name Kapila. He's not the real founder of Sankhya. Which is to to analyze the world, analyze the material nature, the jiva, etc. But in the atheist Sankhya, they don't speak of the soul or the super soul.
So what is the conclusion of real Sankhya Yoga?
The Vishnu is the root.
So it is there, na Vishnu last in last.
Yes, so that's the teachings of Kapila Deva, right? So we find that Vishnu is the root, and therefore we should worship. So in Bhagavatam, we find chapter after chapter where Lord Kapila is describing how to worship Vishnu, how to meditate on Vishnu, and to engage in devotional service. Right. So it's a lot of intellectual understanding. Whereas in Bhakti, we are directly engaged in the service. Shavaram, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Mandalam, etc. Right? So as Sankhya, first we are analyzing to understand who we are, what is this material world. Then who's the root cause of this universe? Is it me? Right? Is it me? No, us. Like everybody saying it's me, right? And then the world belongs to me. I'm the root cause of everything, you worship me, right? That's what everybody is saying, right?
The Sankhya Yoga is more of in-depth and devotional bhakti yoga. We just go into bhakti yoga without doing much.
Yeah, but we should, but the basis has to be knowledge. It has to be knowledge. Otherwise, anybody engaging in devotional service. Krishna here is speaking Bhagavad Gita in order for us to engage in service. So that's why the same as nobody's been reading the books. Nobody's just reading Bhagavad Gita and then you don't do any service. Somebody's, right? So again and again, Prabhupada is bringing this out, that we must do some work. Right? Chapter 3 was, you work according to your nature. You offer the food of your work to Vishnu. Right? Now we're doing more in depth. Let's start. Yatsangye pratyate sthanam.
यत्साङ्ख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं
तद्योगेऽपि गम्यते
तद्योगैरपि गम्यते
एकं सङ्ख्यं च योगं च
एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च
यः पश्यति स पश्यति
यः पश्यति स पश्यति
Yat what? Sankhya by means of Sankhya philosophy. Prapyate is achieved. Sthanam place. Tat that. Yogai by devotional service. Api also. Gamyate one can attain. Ekam one. Sankhyam analytical study. Cha and yogam action and devotion. Cha and ya one who. Pashyati sees. Sah he. Pashyati actually sees. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Purport. The real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. Since the ultimate goal of life is self realization, there is no difference between the conclusions reached by the two processes. By Sankhya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that a living entity is not a part and parcel of the material world, but of the supreme spirit whole. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His actions must be in relation with the Supreme. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he actually sees in his constitutional position. In the first process, Sankhya, one has to become detached from matter, and in the devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to the work of Krishna consciousness. Factually, both processes are the same. Although superficially one process appears to involve detachment and the other process appears to involve attachment. Detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One who can see this sees things as they are.
So now this is Hare Krishna. So this is basic knowledge. Alright? If we don't get this straight, we can't understand anything. So this is analytical study, Sankhya and Yoga. And Prabhupada is translating Yoga as action in devotion. Title of this chapter is
Action in Krishna consciousness.
Action in Krishna Consciousness. So first of all, if you know what the purpose of our life, right? See, we've gone little ahead now in chapter 5. You know, we've gone beyond just being animals who are eating, sleeping, mating, and depending, right? We're getting to the trouble to study. So, if we are doing a philosophical research, then at the end we should know that I need to attain self-realization. By study of Shastra or analysis based on Vedas, we can understand that we are not the body, we are spirit soul. Okay? So this is both of them come to the same conclusion. Sankhya philosophy and Bhakti
Bhakti.
Yoga both come to the same conclusion that I must achieve self-realization. Now, when we are doing this Sankhya philosophy, one comes to a conclusion that the Jiva is not part and parcel of what? Of the
Material world.
Right? We are not part and parcel of the material world, but of the Supreme Spirit whole. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. So why am I doing all this nonsense in this world? And finally, I end up fighting with others, being envious of others. Right? It's like you are living your life very peacefully, and then when somebody becomes envious of you and plays a trick on you. Right? You don't know. You're thinking that, oh, here I have a business, I'm expanding my business, and then you know somebody comes and
Pose.
right? Make you lose your business, speak ill about you, or just steal your money, right?
Yes.
So what are we doing in this material world?
And it happens, Mataji, in real life, na? Situations.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right? You can't live peacefully in this material world, so what are we doing in this material world?
We are
Just
What are we doing? We are not part and parcel of this material world, but we are in it, and we are trying to be happy, and these are the stuff that happens, right? So consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His actions must be in some relation with the Supreme. Okay? His actions must be in some relation with the Supreme. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he's actually in his constitutional consciousness. See, the thing is that we are matter in, we are spirit in matter. Meaning that we exist. Alright? The material world is shifting, always shifting, changing, right? But it doesn't matter whether there is a tsunami, or there is a tornado, or there is flood, or there is drought, or there is everything flourishing. It doesn't matter. You continue to exist in both happiness and in distress. You continue to exist. Alright? So, if there is no happiness when we are in touch with the material world and all its ups and downs, then why not take shelter of Vishnu? Right? Why not take shelter of Vishnu, which is our constitutional position? It's natural for us to be with Vishnu. Why are we giving him up? Why we don't want to serve him?
why not ready?
You study the other day, why?
Because we forget.
Why did you find Krishna? You don't know. Right? We want to be dissociated from Krishna. Right? We want to be dissociated from him. Therefore, we choose to be the material world and we throw around that material energy. Right? When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he's actually his constitutional position. So now, make a note. Sankhya philosophy say detached from matter. Alright? And where do you go?
Attached to Krishna.
So detachment from the material world
and attachment to Krishna.
Alright? Yes. You can't just be detached. If the only thing you're doing, detach yourself from the world, you give up everything that's pertaining to the material world. Where will you be? You float in nothing. You again go back to your attachments. So therefore, you have to become attached to Krishna. Okay? So from negative, from being becoming, to become neutral in action. Alright? Become neutral in action and then become positive in action. From negative to zero to positive. Neutral means that akarma means. Akarma is neutral. It is not sufficient. There has to be Krishna. This is bhakti.
Mataji, but from Vikarma we go to Karma, and then from Karma we go to Akarma, right?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. From deep karma we can go to karma, pious deeds, right? We can progress. But suggesting our own sense gratification with this method. Right? Like we do some pious deed and we get a high position in society. Let's say we have Lakamuni due to past birth. We get Lakamuni. And we continue to give. Right? And then I want to make sure that the whole world knows I'm doing it. Right? Isn't it? So what's happening? We start to eat up our punya. Right? Instead of squandering, we are spending our money actually.
Mataji, we are spending our money by doing like all these things that are not bhakti.
No, I'm saying spending our money is saying that we have invested in punya. Alright? We are losing our pious credit when we show up. Right?
When you're giving and you want it to be shown.
Instead of accumulating more and investing more, you are losing your pious merits. Just like a yogi, they have mystic power, right? So when they utilize this mystic power for material gain, to show up, etc., they lose it. It's like you're spending your money.
Therefore, real yogis don't show up. Therefore, real yogis don't show up. They are very mysterious.
Yeah.
And unkind.
You just think of Prabhupada. He had a mystic power at the age of 70, right? At the age of 70, to cross over the
Yes.
Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Pacific Ocean, right? To survive all alone, right? All alone in Indian men, old men, 70 years old, right? With that mystic power that he could influence
Yes.
youngsters, right? Youngsters, he would influence them to give up their sinful activities, right? That he could get all his books printed. He could engage. Now remember, his disciples were in their 20s. All his disciples were in their 20s. He set up the entire movement with youngsters. Right? Nobody was about 30. All his students were youngsters.
And he was 70 plus.
Yeah.
And in those days, Mataji means, and that was all that hippie zamana and all, na, the US and all that.
And then he brought his disciples
Yes.
to India.
Yes.
He traveled throughout India. He set up the movement. With who? Young boys and girls who were sailors. They were not mystified. Right?
Who did not even heard the name of Krishna.
Yeah, we didn't know Krishna's name. What is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for all the time?
Yes.
Nobody knew Krishna Balaram. Right? Even if we knew Krishna, Balaram was even more in the
Yes.
background, right?
Correct.
Krishna did. Right? To bring back from the darkness of Kali Yuga the science of Bhakti Yoga, we have not mystic power. Yeah, so then it's Sanyasastu Mahabaho
Sannyasasto Mahabaho Dukkham Aptuma Yogata Yoga Yukto Muni Nachirnadhikachati. Sannyasa, the renounced order of life. 2. But Mahabaho, O mighty armed one. Dukkham, distress. Aptum, afflicts one with Ayokta, without devotional service. Yog Yukta, one engaged in devotional service. Munihi, a thinker. Brahma, the supreme. Na Chirina, without delay. Adhigachati, attains. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Purport. There are two classes of sannyasis or persons in the renounced order of life. The Mayavadi sannyasis are engaged in the study of Sankhya philosophy, whereas the Vaishnava sannyasis are engaged in the study of Bhagavatam philosophy, which affords the proper commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Mayavadi sannyasis also study the Vedanta Sutras but use their own commentary called Sharirakha Bhasya, written by Shankaracharya. The students of Bhagavata school are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord according to Panchratriki regulations, and therefore the Vaishnava sannyasis have multiple engagement in the transcendental service of the Lord. The Vaishnava sannyasis have nothing to do with material activities, and yet they perform various activities in their devotional service to the Lord. But the Mayavadi sannyasis engage in the studies of Sankhya and Vedanta and speculations, cannot relish the transcendental service of the Lord. Because their studies become very tedious, they sometimes become tired of Brahman speculations, and thus they take shelter of the Bhagavatam without proper understanding. Consequently, their study of Srimad Bhagavatam becomes troublesome. Dry speculations and impersonal interpretations by artificial means are also useless for the Mayavadi sannyasis. The Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in the devotional service are happy in the discharge of their transcendental duties, and they have the guarantee of ultimate entrance into the kingdom of God. The Mayavadi sannyasis sometimes fall down from the path of self realization and again enter into material activities of philanthropic and altruistic nature, which are nothing but material engagements. Therefore, the conclusion is that those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness activities are better situated than the sannyasis engaged in simple speculation about what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, although they too come to Krishna consciousness after many births.
So now this is very important. Okay? So Prabhupada is explaining. So Krishna said, merely renouncing all activity. This is sannyas. Okay? Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person, meaning that someone who has studied the scriptures, who has knowledge, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without dealing. So now, how Mayavad philosophy was their activity, and the devotional, Vaishnava sannyasis, what are their activities? So two classes of sannyasis. Clear? Who are they?
Mayavadi and Vaishnavas.
Mayavadi and Vaishnava sannyasis. Mayavadi, Vaishnava sannyasis, what are they doing?
Sankhya Yoga they are studying.
They are studying
Sankhya
philosophy of
Sankhya Yoga.
Right? And the Vaishnavas, what are they doing?
Bhagavatam.
They are
Bhagavatam.
studying Bhagavatam. Okay? So this Bhagavatam is what?
Devotional service.
What is Bhashimad Bhagavatam?
It's all about Krishna.
What was some of this?
It is according to the
Commentary of-
Panchratri regulations of Narad Muni.
Sorry?
Panchratri.
I'm asking what is Bhagavatam mean?
It is the commentary of the Vedanta Sutra.
Yes. Okay? Please write down. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is a study, the commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Alright? Now, the Mayavadis are also studying Vedanta
Yes.
Sutra. Okay? But what do? How do they study Vedanta Sutra?
By using their own commentaries.
By the commentary of Shankaracharya.
Sharira Bhashya.
This is Mayavad. This is Vaishnava. We are studying Sankhya. We are studying Bhagavatam. This is from Vedanta Sutra. We are studying Vedanta Sutra. They give their own community.
Shankaracharya.
Shankaracharya. And this is from who? Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasa. This is Vyasa. Both are Vyasa. And this is from Vyasa. And this is from Shankaracharya. Clear?
Yes.
See, you are not going to forget this.
Yes.
Because if you have to continue to study, read, you should understand this basic. Alright. Now, the students of the Bhagavad school are engaged in what? What are they doing? They're studying-
Devotional.
Yeah, you're studying the books. And then what do?
Devotional service.
We engage in devotional service according to what? Pancharatrika regulation, like we are doing the deity worship. So we take a diksha, then we are doing all the sadhana, we are doing the deity worship, all the archana, etc., etc. Alright? So therefore they are very much engaged. They are cooking, they are cleaning, they are doing the aarti, they are dressing the deities, they are making clothes for the deities. There are so many engagements, right? And then they do prachar. So they are, just heard, actually, before ISKCON devotees started, doing our books, I never seen any Hindu gurus, right? We saw Christian gurus.
Yes.
Yeah, doing our
Bibles.
Never seen Hindus doing this, right? So what is this? How can it happen? Because the Mayavadi sannyasis, they don't mix with general public. The Mayavadi sannyasis, they don't mix with general public. Why?
Because they think that their detachment will go away.
Because they need all that. Yes. They start interacting with the public, right? Right? From negative to zero has been just remain neutral there. Right? Whereas the devotees, they think that they will increase their attachment to Krishna, bring more devotees. Right? Give them the book. Give them more devotees, make them know about Krishna.
Attach them to also.
Yes. So therefore the Vaishnava, according to Pancharatrika engagements, according to Pancharatrika regulations, and therefore the Vaishnavas can have multiple engagements in the transcendental service of the Lord. We see all temples, right? Everywhere. How they worshiping the deities. The Vaishnava sannyasis have nothing to do with material activities. And yet they perform various activities in their devotional service to the Lord. But the sannyasi, the Mayavad sannyasi, what they do is whole day they're just sitting and studying books. How much can you study? Day in, day out, eating, sleeping, everything is only Vedanta, Vedanta, Vedanta. Okay, maybe 10 years you do it, 25 you do it from age 5 to 20, right? And then how do you spend your whole life? Right? You spend your whole life. Because there is an end to knowledge. There's an end to knowledge. You study, now you understand. Now it is what do you do? You have understood. Right? You have nothing to do. You only have to go and poring over the Brahmins. Oh, boring, right? So what do they do? What do they do? What do they do?
They sometimes tired of Brahman speculation and thus they take shelter of Bhagavatam.
Yeah, so what do they do? But the Mayavad, but the Mayavad sannyasis engage in the studies of Sankhya and Vedanta and speculation cannot relish the transcendental service of the Lord. So what do they do? Because their studies become very tedious, boring also. They sometimes become tired.
Yes.
They become tired of Brahman speculation and thus they take shelter of the Bhagavatam without proper understanding. So what do? If you want to learn Bhagavatam, what should you do?
Should go to Guru.
Which Guru?
the real guru in discipline.
You have to go to Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam
Guru,
Guru.
Yes.
right?
Correct.
You won't do that. What do they do?
They
They
don't.
take a
Bhagavatam and start reading again.
Yes.
So
They
again,
speculate.
again
They
that.
take Bhagavatam, they speculate, right? If you want to know how to paint, you go to a painting teacher, right? You don't just watch from, like, actually, here, I tell you the truth. Here, in the temple, so what do devotees do? They watch the pujaris do puja. They go home and they do the same. Alright?
Huh.
Can you imagine what they do? They do the same. They're watching, right? They're watching. What actually is the pujari doing? You don't know. You don't know. So therefore you imitate.
Try to copy.
You have
Yeah,
to
yes,
copy.
copy.
Alright? And you don't want to
No.
ask. You're joking, The devotees do it. And then they don't know what they're doing. So, Mayavadi, what is he doing? From far away, he's watching. He says, okay, these Vaishnava, they read Bhagavatam, right? And so much happiness is there in Bhagavatam. People are running to listen to Bhagavatam, right? By the hundreds and thousands, people come to listen to Bhagavatam. So they become famous Vachak, right? They were saying that in love, I click on one video, and so because picture Krishna was this one, and what did I see? So it was Krishna, it was Damodar Krishna, okay? So what did it show? So what did this something very strange, So this is like Krishna Mahanchu, how Yashoda was trying to blind you, cooking she's cooking the milk at the same time she's doing this bhakti. So that person, I don't know who he is, he was giving, very beautiful words and everything. I was thinking, what's strange with Mother Yashoda? What's strange? She was looking like an old lady, a great grandmother. And for all of us, we know very well the description of Mother Yashoda in Bhagavatam, right? The description of Mother Yashoda, how beautiful she is. She's wearing a yellow sari.
Yes.
She's got
With
flowers,
flowers
in her,
and covered.
right? So at the end of the whole story, it was that, actually it's another century when we start throwing it all over the world. So it shows, how Mother Yashoda is. So she's 80 years old. She's running after this little Lala, who is less than 5 years old. Ridiculous. Absolutely, completely ridiculous. You don't understand what is fun. You don't understand the eternity. Because it says that Mother Yashoda gave birth to Krishna in mature age. So a sick woman. so the AI depiction was of an old, ugly woman who's running after this little boy and just collapsed.
So for AI,
Speculation. I'm just saying super speculation. They don't go and learn from it. This is what we cook up their own story. Same Krishna, just see, I am going to talk to us. Krishna is but it's a good topic for me to.
Yes, related. Yes, learning from that also, like not to relate it. And they don't read anything, nothing.
Oh my God. Anyway, at least now some Hollywood, Bollywood makers, they're starting to study Prabhupada's book and making proper movies. Right? You can't remember what they were doing. Okay, but the Mayavadi sannyasis engage in the studies of Sankhya and Vedanta and speculation have ready to transcendent studies of the Lord. Because the studies become very tedious, they sometimes become tired of Brahma speculation and recitation of the Bhagavad without proper understanding. Consequently, their study of the Srimad Bhagavatam becomes troublesome. I just said, give you an example, right? Dry speculations and impersonal interpretations like artificial means are all useless for the Mayavadi sannyasis. So they will read because in Bhagavatam, all philosophies are there. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti. There is description of Brahman, description of Paramatma, and Bhagavan. All philosophies are there. All kinds of distortion philosophies also here. Right? So when they read, they say, oh, okay, yes, my philosophy is also here. That's how they spot it out. My philosophy is also here. And they will expand on that. The Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in devotional service are happy in the discharge of their transcendental duties. And they have the guarantee of ultimate entrance into the kingdom of God. The Mayavadi sannyasis sometimes fall down on the path of self-realization and again enter into material activities of a philanthropic and altruistic nature, which are nothing but material engagement. So, as I'm saying, if you are born in Mayavad, then you go to school, see, you have to be a brahmachari to enter the Mayavad philosophy. To become a sannyasi, you have to be a brahmachari. You can't enter grihastha. It's not possible. You have to
Be a brahmachari.
yes. So meaning that if you take sannyas early, then you have a whole life. What do you do with your life? Whole life, what do you do? Right? You have nothing to do except read the books. So what do they do? Nobody say, discarding philanthropic work. That's how they open medical schools, medical healing, this center, that
Yes,
center.
yes.
So they start doing philanthropic work. So they have to be engaged somewhere. They have to be engaged somewhere. Meaning they start curing the bodies of people instead of soul. Understand what was happening? Instead of curing people of their bodies, they start curing the body of the people. You understand what I'm saying? The soul has got a disease. The disease is that we have a material body. Right? Vaishnavas want to cure you of your material body. That you don't take birth and death again. Right? And what is the Mayavadi philanthropic people, what do they do?
Material problem.
They will address your material problems.
Mataji, in one of the purports, it was written that it is as good as saving the dress of a drowning.
Yes. Yes.
Drowning man.
Yeah. Therefore, the conclusion is that those who are engaged in Krishna conscious activities are better situated than the sannyasis engaged in simple speculation about what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, although they too come to Krishna consciousness of the media. So, meaning that someone who is a grihastha, now women cannot do all this in the Mayavad philosophy, right? Because they will become child, they will straight into sannyas. So here has been the conclusion is that we need not put on the official dress of the sannyasi and all that stuff. whoever you may be, Grihastha, man, woman, child, anybody can engage in devotional service. They can become purified and overcome what you are. Right?
In Mayabad, there is no Grihastha.
No?
They can't.
There is Brahmachari and Sannyasi.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You don't accept grihasthas.
So how they
Yeah, so meaning that if you want to study, if you want to become a sannyasi, you have to skip. You have to skip this. You don't accept grihasthas.
lifelong,
Yeah.
you don't know, or women also.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just no chance.
But there are some women I have seen in Orient jewelries, like sannyasi.
Yeah. So Gupta philosophy, right? Gupta philosophy. So whereas in bhakti, we engage the women in different activities. Right? So, but there's hope for these sannyasis. Bahunam jananam ante jnanam prapadante, right? Yes. So these sannyasis, because they are after self-realization, so they will go on, see somehow or other, they're coming in touch with transcendence. Alright? But they are not ready to accept and surrender. Alright, so from far away, like those devotees who are imitating the Pujaris, someday they get caught right, and then they learn the right way how to do it. But the main thing is that they want to do, right? So from imitation, they get corrected and they come to the right way. You know? One last verse. Yogayukto vishuddhatma
विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रिय सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वमपि न लिप्यते. Yoga Yukta, engaged in devotional service, Vishuddha Atma, a purified soul, Vijita Atma, self-controlled, Jitendriya, having conquered the senses, Sarva Bhuta, to all living entities, Atma, Bhuta Atma, compassionate, Kurvam Api, although engaged in work, Na never, Lipyate, is entangled. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Purport: one who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of a tree are not separate from the tree. He knows very well that by pouring water on the root of the tree, the water will be distributed to all the leaves and branches. Or by supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all, he is very dear to everyone. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness. Because he is pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. And because his mind is controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of his being deviated from Krishna. Nor is there a chance that he will engage his senses in matters other than the service of the Lord. He does not like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna, and he does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, why then was Arjuna offensive in battle to others? Wasn't he in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because, as has already been explained in the second chapter, all the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually as the soul cannot be slain. So, spiritually, no one was killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in the reactions of work.
Understand? Understand? One who works in devotion, who is peaceful, and who controls his mind and senses, dear to everyone. And everyone is dear to him. Meaning it's not making any difference between this one and that one. He doesn't hate this one and love this one. Right? Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Entangled
In a material world,
in karma bandhan.
karma bandhan,
Alright?
reactions.
So one is at the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. Why? This is due to his Krishna consciousness, because he doesn't think of anything separate from Krishna. So when we see somebody, we see that person as part and parcel of Krishna. It doesn't separate the person. Not like parents. You know, parents don't have own children, and maybe their neighbors' children, and they don't care about somebody who's further away. Right? The example is given about a tree with the leaves and branches.
Yes.
Right? So meaning the tree, the leaves and branches belong to the tree. Or the stomach. The stomach, you put food in the stomach and the energy spread everywhere. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. One who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. He's very dear to everyone. He's not trying to extract word from this one or that one. I can understand this. Sometimes, if you are like a group leader, it may happen. So you have so many, people coming under you, so-called under, I don't like this word under, with you. They sent to you by Krishna, right? Nobody is under us, right? It's the children. They sent to us by Krishna, and our duty is to engage them in seva. Right? So if we try to control them, manipulate them, become their boss, then we will straight in the material world. Right? So here, Prabhupada is very explicitly explaining this point. I'm just so lucky, so fortunate, to have experience and how, and my Guru Maharaj, how he engaged us in service. We have a personal touch with roots. He personally engaged in his service. And our Krishna consciousness was priority over anything else. Let's see here. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. So that's why, this one is Jagataka Maharaj, when he set up this Bhakti Diksha program. He said, you're a servant leader. You're a servant leader. Is what we call it. So he's a servant. to all. So he's very dear to everyone. But sometimes it happens with householders when all things started expanding. So then sometimes you start using people for your business, to grow your business. You know? Like say sannyasis or brahmacharis, they collect funds to expand Krishna's business. But we saw some grihasthas, they start networking, getting contacts. Right? I'm just explaining, these are things that happen. They start getting contacts for their own business.
ISKCON.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this is how dangerous it is. So training has to be very strong. And you have to be checked. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. You are actually a servant of Krishna. You are engaging people in service. Therefore, he's very dear to everyone. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he's pure in consciousness. Like Srila Prabhupada. He engaged all those young boys and girls in distributing books, collecting funds and building this temple. Right? And then he left. Srila Prabhupada. What did he do? He set up this huge international society. Right? He's a crazy man, with 70 years old. He go and establish an empire and go. Right? So that's why everybody is worshipping Srila Prabhupada. Right? You see him in the last days. He wore out his body. Actually, wore out his body, traveling everywhere. Right? He gave away his body for us. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all. As I said in the region of white culture, and then he went to the West, where they don't even know how to respect this sannyasi. Right? Prabhupada cooked, made them eat, they fed them, and then they left behind their dishes for Prabhupada to wash. To wash all the pots, wash the dishes, clean the room. Nobody noticed. So, and because everyone is satisfied by his work, he's pure in consciousness. Because he's pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. Right? So whatever he was doing, so his consciousness was pure. And therefore he could control his mind, meaning he didn't explore those young girls. Right? Young girls are coming to him. His mind completely controlled. And because his mind is controlled, his senses also controlled. Right? You just watch history. How many Indian swamis went to the West and prayed to women? To their money and to women? Right? Here in India, there were these swamis. People respected them. But when you went to the West, the women don't know what is a sannyasi, how to behave with a sannyasi. Right? You can pray. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna. There is no chance that he's being deviated from Krishna. In his mind, he only knows he wants to give Krishna to others. So he engaged them in Krishna's service. Nor is there a chance that he will engage his services, his senses in matters other than the service of the Lord. He doesn't like to hear anything except topics relating to Krishna. He everyone is sitting and gossiping. Right? He doesn't like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. He sometimes chill out somewhere, some restaurant. Right? Or some wedding party. And he doesn't wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. So sometimes when devotees they go in these weddings, etc., what are they doing? For preaching sake. For preaching sake.
In wedding.
Yeah. Yes.
In wedding, devotees go for preaching.
Yes. They invite, when they invite the devotees, they want blessings, right?
Yes.
That's why they invite you.
Yes.
They want blessings important for them,
Yes.
right? So this is the opportunity when devotees they can make new people distribute books and construct temples, networking for Krishna, right? Same social gathering using real ways. Yeah?
Yes.
So therefore, his senses are controlled, meaning he even need to sit and eat whatever they are cooked, right? A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, then what about Arjuna? He was so offensive, right? So Prabhupada explained that it was only superficial.
They had already been killed by
It was
Krishna.
only superficial. It's just that these people, whoever was in front of him, they were misusing, right? They were misusing their freedom. They were misusing their abilities, their skills to create disaster for others, right? So therefore, Krishna said, remove them. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. So he gave the instructions. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting after all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in the reactions of work. Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma Vijittatma Jitendriyaha Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatis Kodam Api Na Likyate. Someone who is engaged in devotion and who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So the compassionate are Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Compassionate to all. Bhutatma meaning living being. Those Atma who are embodied in a Panch Mahabhuta. Right?
Yes.
So like they feel compassion for them. So they are preaching, whatever they are doing. So such a person is never entangled. Now, Bhutasana Bhutatmas Kurvan Api Na Lipyate. Lipyate, the entangled, right? It is mixed up, messed up with the law of karma. Very technical, isn't it? All this. Any question?
No, I got
So we can see who's a devotee, The series will be okay. All the little acts. So you have to go on living with it. Prabhupada in a very simple way. Very simple way. This is a big preliminary. Prabhupada says this Bhagavad Gita is preliminary study. So that purpose Prabhupada has given in a very simple way. You know, it's like for SC students. Actually, for SC students. SC?
अच्छा 10th क्लास
नहीं 10th नहीं जैसे ICSE होता है
15-year-old
Ten.
children. This is
Yeah,
their level. Their level. So everything is like very briefly Prabhupada is doing. In Bhagavatam, expanded. Now so many devotees are doing classes, not preparing properly, means to prepare proper. So they're studying, they're expanding the Bhagavatam purport here. They're writing more now. They're writing again classes. How much can you write here? How much can you write? Different type interpretation. We have, I mean, they in Parampara, that is the explanation, examples. Right?
So after completing Bhagavad Gita, we will be 10th pass in spiritual studies.
graduation
Not even graduation.
HSC, right?
Okay, HSC will be done by Bhagavad Gita.
But for us, this SEC is also tough, Mataji.
Preliminary.